In this video tutorial, we're going to talk about creating many-to-many relationships. The first step is to go to the database structure and change it a bit. When we created the one-to-many relationship, we used two tables. But to illustrate this type of structure, the many-to-many one, we're going to need three of them. Let's add the first two. We're going to call this one invoices. Add a new one. And the third one is going to be called articles. This one is going to store the common elements between the tables. Now that we have our tables created, we need to start building up the relationships. We're going to start with invoices, which is going to be related to articles, and then we're going to go to products, which is also going to be related to articles. So we're going to start by adding a new field from the relationship section. This is going to refer the articles table. Just select it from this drop down, click accept. Going down to products, we're going to repeat the same operation. This is going to refer also the articles table. Click accept and save. Let's go back and make sure we have the correct relationships set up. So invoices is going to reference articles. Products is going to reference articles. And now if we go to articles, we can see that a one-to-one relationship between invoices and articles and products and articles has been built. This is a sign that everything is set up in the database, so we can save and close this window and start building the views. You can do that by going to the desktop tab and choose grid view. We will need to build three views. Each of them is going to point to one of the tables we've just created. So we're going to start by adding the first one, which is going to reference invoices. Accept. The second one, which is going to point to products. Accept. And then the last of one, which is going to reference articles. Then save. Let's go to the invoices view and edit it. The form is empty, but you can customize this, of course. Right-click and choose Customize Layout. We can add the order ID and the name. We can play with the size of these fields a bit and also add a couple of records. Okay, close this and save. Of course, you can provide names for these invoices by going to each of them and type in a name. But if we go back to the Customize Layout option, you're not going to see any element that is pointing to one of the tables in the database. It's just invoices, even if we created a relationship in the database. Let's solve this problem. So we're going to close this, save and close. And as I mentioned in another video, we need to go to the relationships option and add in a control. You can add a control by clicking on the plus sign as we did in a previous video and choose Grid View Control. Now from this drop-down list, you can select Articles. Let's save and go back to invoices and edit it again. This time, if you right-click and choose Customize Layout, we can see that multiple elements are available. And that's because we just defined the relationship between the views. Let's drag articles. Okay. And play with the format a bit. Just right-click, text position, top. This just looks better. Also hide item. By now, the articles view has just become a child view of the invoices view. But what if we want to see some information about products in this form? Let's just do that. Click on X, save and close. If by now we already have a connection between invoices and articles using a control, we will need to do the same for products. We're going to do that by clicking on Articles, choosing the Products connection, and add in a specific control. This is called a lookup grid. Click on it, and now you should be able to select a lookup grid from this list. But there's nothing in here, and you may be asking yourself why. That's because we haven't created any grid lookups yet. We can quickly create one by clicking on these three dots. This is going to open up the Lookup Grid View Manager, and you can add one here by clicking the plus sign and tie it to the Products table. Click on Accept and save and close. Now you're going to be able to actually select one from this list. Save again. And now let's go back to the invoices and edit them. I've said earlier that we may be interested in seeing some product information in this form. Now we're able to do that. Just right click, choose Customize Layout, and look for the products. Drag them. And this is the place where you can see information about products. Let's just close the customization window for now and play with the size of these windows a bit. Okay. We can also add extra columns over here in the articles view. Choose Column Chooser and add in products. We can also remove some of them because they're just a bit distracting. Okay. Now we're good. And every time you want to add a new article to this list, you are going to be able to choose a product from the drop-down. But again, this is empty, and you may be asking yourself why. It's because we haven't created any products in the products table. Let's quickly go and do that. Save and close for now. Go to the products table, click on Edit, and add in a few products. Would be a good idea to actually give them some names. I think you will recognize these following steps. Right click, Customize Layout, add in the name, and also other information if you like, just for the purpose of playing around with them. Close, select the first entry, and call it, let's say, Product 1, second one, Product 2, and guess what? Product 3. Now we're good. We have 3 products entered in the products table. Save and close. Going back to invoices, edit. Now we're actually going to be able to play around with our view. So we have the first invoice, which has one article added to it. We can choose products to add to those articles, like this. Save. You can add as many as you want. This is going to be tied to the second product. Again, click on Save. The third one, of course, to product 3. Save. And if we go and check out the second invoice, this is empty. But we can add an entry to it and select the product. Product 1, save. And checking out the others, this invoice is empty, this invoice is empty, but the first one has a lot of articles in it which have been selected from the products form. And this is how you create a many-to-many type of relationship. You can close these, this one as well. I hope this has been informative for you, and I would like to thank you for watching.